So the race war has begun. And over what? Well, a man was killed by a cop because the cop was too hard on him. He put his knee on his neck, and this man has now died from his injuries. Well, not now. I mean, he died pretty quickly. George Floyd is the man. I don't know all the details. Right now I'm waiting because I don't want to know just yet. It's too early. People are too angry. So you're not going to get the right news. So I'm waiting. Here's what we do know. Cop is definitely guilty. I mean, there's photos of it. There's video. He definitely killed that guy. What else do we know? That cop should have been fired. He had multiple instances before where he was mistreating people. Obviously, he had a power complex, and the badge got to his head. He's basically a criminal with a badge. Just because you have a badge on doesn't mean you're not a bad person. Just because you do good things doesn't mean you're not a bad person. Okay, we're all bad. Some of us are just more, we exercise our evil more openly. But that's a different conversation. This cop should be thrown in prison. Absolutely. Okay? Now, did he kill the guy on purpose? Most likely not. However, he did purposefully use force, and for that, he should be in prison for the rest of his life. No one disagrees on that. Where the disagreement comes in is, was it racially motivated? And are these riots justified? Now, the first one, I could understand there being some disagreement on whether or not it was racially motivated. We don't know. We don't. And people can say, well, it was a white cop and a black guy. That's not enough, okay? I'll give you an example. Let's reverse it. A black guy steals my bike. Is that racially motivated, or did he just take my bike because he wanted a bike? You got to actually think about that. You can't just say something is and then it is. The one that we shouldn't have any disagreement on is whether or not the riots are justified. Oh, well, they're justified because this violence has gone on long enough. What violence? And I love the response. You don't know? Well, yeah, you already accuse me of not knowing. Every time I say anything about race, you go, well, you're white, you don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Educate me. It won't do it. And it's other white people that are the worst. The white liberals. Oh, you're not woke. I'm not woke. I'm 10 times more woke than you are. I see that these riots are actually going to increase police brutality. You want it to end, but you're burning down buildings. What do you think the cops are going to do? They're going to just start killing you guys. You realize that, right? You want to live in a police state. You're falling right into the government's lap. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. This is great news for power brokers in the federal government right now. They are looking at this and they are grinning from ear to ear. You guys are being played. You're being played. 100%. And you're too ignorant to know better. You're not stupid. You're just ignorant. Very short-sighted. You don't understand how politics works, and you don't understand how power works. And I'm talking to you protesters. These riots are wrong. And we can argue over that. But let's not even argue over that. Let's argue over the practicality of it. It's impractical. You are going to cause more police brutality by doing this. You're shooting yourselves in the foot. You're doing the exact opposite of what you need to do. There's a reason that Martin Luther King peacefully protested. It wasn't just because, it was, there's a lack of bloodshed. It was better, and it bolstered the cause and actually got people who maybe wouldn't have thought about, civil rights into the movement. Because when you're peaceful, you seem more rational. That's not the only reason he did it, though. It's also because then they don't have an excuse to be violent. You ever thought about that? No. Because you're ignorant. You don't understand politics and you don't understand how power works. I'm 40 steps ahead of these people. I'm not saying that to brag, but they're on step one. Well, they did something, so now I'm going to do something. Buddy, we're all in the same boat. Let's stop this racial bullcrap, because police brutality is a problem across the board. There is this Dylan kid, I forgot his last name, about a month and a half ago, I think it was. Or no, 2 months ago. Something like that. 2.5 months. This kid was shot in Maryland. Cops stormed his house. SWAT team. No knock raid. No warning. Just stormed his house. Shot him. Seems like they shot him through the door. So they didn't even know who was behind the door. They changed their story about 8 times. The Maryland law states that cops can wait something like 8 days before they have to be interrogated, which means it gives them plenty of time to change their story. The laws are very protective of Maryland cops. Maryland has some of the most backwards bullcrap laws when it comes to cops being tried for crimes. And it seems like they're just going to get away with it. Media reported on it, but not, it was like on page 8. They reported on it, but they didn't really report on it. Not a peep on TV from national news. They just ignored it. You know why? Because he looked like me. You know what the problem with that is? The problem with that is that then when a white person gets shot by a cop, we don't defend them. But when it's someone who's brown or black, all of a sudden, it's a big problem. You know why that's bad? Because it affects all of us. It's not white America and black America. It's the elites and everyone else. If you don't understand that, you are ignorant. I may be white and I may be a male, but things aren't just given to me. That is bullcrap. You are buying what they're selling. They're baiting you and you're taking it because you're so ignorant. You need to research right now. Okay, how many people are killed by cops every year and who are they? And you might be surprised that it's not all black people. It's not all brown people. Your chances of being a victim of police brutality if you're white, are higher when you encounter cops. Now, why is that important? Because overall, yes, your chances of being a victim of police brutality, if you're black, are higher. However, who has more run-ins with the cops? Black people. They live in more dangerous neighborhoods, and they tend to commit more crimes. However, when you have a run-in with cops, if you're white, your chances of being a victim of police brutality are higher. Why? You can't play the race card. There's no lawsuits. Now, am I saying that to go, oh, there's no problem with police brutality against blacks or brown people? No. It's a problem for everyone. That's the point I'm making. Get it through your thick skull. I'm not your enemy. Right now, you're your own worst enemy. You're going out and burning stuff. Meanwhile, the cops are they're really gonna get a free pass because you just gave them an excuse to now go out and exterminate you. Do you understand? We've already given the government so much power. Why do we want to give them more? Stop turning to your politicians and going, you need to fix this problem. No, they are the problem. You're right. There are too many cops and there are too many bad cops. Most cops, I think, are decent people. I don't think they're great. I don't think they're bad. I don't think they're all heroes. I think the majority of them aren't heroes, and some of them are. Okay? I'm not on the pro-cop side. Like all the MAGA people like, yeah, cops! And I'm not on the anti-cop side. Truth is I think they both suck. Because they're both short-sighted and they're not looking at the real issues. People on the pro-cop side are like, we can't have anarchy. And you're right, we can't. But then on the anti-cop side, they're like, we can't have racism. And you're right, we can't. But it's not a racial problem. It's a power problem. These people have power complexes. People are bad. They're not good. Black cops commit police brutality against black people. You think that's because they hate their own skin color so much? Do you really? Are you really that ignorant? Actually, you know what? In that case, you're stupid. Okay? In that case, you just can't put 2 and 2 together. Do you really believe that? Or is it just easier to say something like that because it supports your view? Admit it. You're wrong about this. You're wrong on this one. These riots will do nothing for you. They will not advance your cause. They will set you back easy 40, 50 years. Do you want that? Do you want to go... Okay. Do you want to go back to... Well, it might set you back 60 years. You want to go back to 1960 in America? Really? Because I you hear people, oh, we live in America today because of Trump. Bullcrap. That's absolute bullshit, and you know it. Trust me, 1960s America, a lot worse for minorities. That's what you're going to do. You're going to set us back because you're so short-sighted. You can't see what this is going to do. This is not going to bolster your cause, okay? 300 million people aren't going to rise up with you. That's never going to happen. You are in the vast minority. Even people who don't like the cops are like, yeah, but I'm not rioting. You think you have it now. You have, oh, we have a ton of support. We have hundreds of thousands of people across the country rising up. Okay. What happens 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now? Are those people going to still be out on the streets? No. They just want to go out and party. They don't care about George Floyd. They've been cooped up inside for 3 months. And they want to go out and, have fun. And that leads me into the coronavirus. Coronavirus is the reason the main reason that this is happening. Not Floyd. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. You lock people in their houses for 3 months, and this is what you get fed. Stop taking our rights. The only problem I have with these protesters is that they're not doing it the right way. This is not going to get us more rights. This is going to get us less. Pick something else. Okay? Pick Second Amendment. But see, that's the problem. I don't need guns. The cops will. Really? The cops. The guys with guns that just killed this George guy? Killed George Floyd. Really? Cops should be the only ones with guns? We need to use... I saw a post about that on Facebook, and I thought, that's a great post. That's a good way to advance our cause. Anyone who is liberty-leaning, anyone who, whether you're a conservative or a libertarian or someone who just wants less government, this is a great way to advance our cause. If you love the Second Amendment, this is a good... This is how, if you like just people having the right to have guns, whether you're an anarchist and I don't like the Constitution, whatever, doesn't matter. We all agree, all of us on the right agree that people need guns to protect themselves. All right? Whether you're sort of like a rhino and you're sort of like, only if it's, non-military, whatever. You're an idiot. I don't like you, but that's fine. This is a great way to advance our cause. See, the guy with the gun, he's not a good guy. Wouldn't you rather it be you that was able to protect yourself rather than waiting on the cops to show up who might not protect you anyway? Because they could be crooked. Who might arrest the wrong person. Who knows what. I guarantee you, if there was someone in that area, someone around who just had a gun and the cops knew about it, they would have probably been a little gentler with George Floyd when they put him in the back of the car. Oh wait, he didn't get to the back of the car. I guarantee you, he'd probably still... I can almost guarantee you he'd be alive right now. And don't bring up Ahmaud Arbery, because we already know that guy was a criminal. But George Floyd? Yeah, that's legit. Do we know if it's racist? No. You don't know. But you do know that this cop is a complete jerk. We've established this cop is evil, okay? Trust me, I've dealt with bad cops. See, I know, white guy, he never dealt with anything. Bullcrap. My family's dealt with it. We've got pulled over by the same cop several times. He ran our plates constantly. He pulled us over you know why he pulled us over? He did profile us. You know why he profiled us? Because we were driving around an older vehicle. It wasn't racial, but it was still profiling. It happens all the time. And sometimes cops have to profile. It's unfortunate, but it happens. The point I'm making is that it's not all racial. We got pulled over by a white cop, and he harassed us. And he kept pulling us over because it's getting around registration time. Our registration was expired by 2 weeks. You're about to get it fixed. And you're getting a ticket. Luckily, there was a good judge. And he sort of let my father off the hook. Still had to pay all kinds of money, though. Still had to pay for those tickets. You know why? Because the legal system is rigged. You still have to pay a fee for the court. You still have to do all this stuff. You're right, the legal system is rigged, but it's not rigged against black people or against whites. It's rigged against all of us. We don't have our rights anymore. This whole coronavirus thing is a perfect example. They suspended the right to a speedy trial in New York. You know why? Well, we don't want people who are guilty getting away. I thought it was innocent until proven guilty. So innocent people stay locked up on the off chance that maybe some of them are guilty. Your rights are being taken away. But stop looking at it through the lens of racism. Because it's not right. It's ignorant. You're not thinking outside the box. They're putting you're thinking in the box they're giving you. You're actually falling for the trick. You're falling for the trap. So, we'll see what happens with this whole thing. I know Floyd guy got arrested, thank God. The riots are still happening because most of the people who are protesting, they don't care about the political crap. They're just tired of being inside. Okay? They're just tired of being inside. You know, I hear things like, oh, Soros is funding all of them. He's paying them all. Soros doesn't have enough money to pay all these people. Sure, he's a billionaire. People don't realize billionaires don't actually have as much money as you think. Most of it's in other stuff. You say, well, he still has a lot of disposable income. I mean, sure, but there's hundreds of thousands of people protesting. There's probably a couple million people protesting right now. There's probably 2 or 3 million people protesting. He doesn't have enough money to pay all of them. He's paying some of them, I'm sure, like the higher ups in the social ladder of Antifa, which I think is hilarious because they're all about equality, but they have a social ladder. They have like different positions for everyone. It's like a merit-based system, almost like capitalism. Kind of weird. We're anarcho-communists. Guys, it's not a thing. You can't be a communist and an anarchist at the same time. That, however, is for another video. Share this around. People need to get to think outside the box. They need to be red-pilled. Red-pilled is not, I like Trump and he's the best thing ever. That is the first stage. I'm way past that. I realize, no, the MAGA thing. I really never was a huge MAGA person, but you get the point. It's the globalist. Again, stage 1, that's a distraction. You're not even close. You're not even there. Okay? It's not the globalists. Okay? There's not this secret organization called the globalists and they control everything. You know what it is? It's just powerful people in competition. It's a lot simpler than you think. The way these power structures work, the way the deep state works, all this stuff. It's not as complicated as people like to believe. Because it's much easier to believe in an elaborate conspiracy because then you can separate yourself from it. But when you realize, oh no, it's people who have the same wants and desires as I do. They just are able to do more because they have more money and more power. And once you realize that, you're like, oh, so it could be me. Then you realize how the human condition works. We're all rotten. We're all evil. And we need Jesus to redeem us. And I know all the atheists, oh, you're stupid, you're crazy, there's no proof of God. Well, I'm happy. A lot happier than you are, so maybe there's something to this whole Jesus thing. And maybe if we focus on that, this whole rioting bullcrap will calm down. We realize who we are, not just what we are. I'll leave you with that. I want you guys to think about it. And please, you can protest. That's fine. Be peaceful. Don't go smashing people's windows. Don't go around committing acts of violence because you could lose your life. Do it for selfish reasons. I don't care why you peacefully protest. Do it for selfish reasons. You know? Like, oh, I don't want to get shot in the face. That's fine. You could do it for a moral cause, like, well, yeah, that's wrong, and I wanna be part of the solution, not part of the problem. Or you could just be a jerk, and you're like, well, I don't want to lose my life. I don't care why you peacefully protest, but peacefully protest. Don't commit violence, because then it's no longer protesting, it's rioting. And when you riot, someone has the right now to hurt you, to harm you, and possibly kill you. Don't do it. You're asking for a whole can of whoop ass. You're opening a whole can of worms. You don't need to do that. Be good to each other. Peace.